Hey, my friend. This week, I thought we would take a little bit of a twist on our typical episode and let's talk a little bit of mindset. If you're here for it, stay tuned and listen in. Hello, my creative friend. Welcome to Creatives on Fire. Are you oh so tired of the constant struggle to keep up on social media? Do you wish you had more time freedom to actually be creative? Well, listen, I'm Melanie Ferguson, a creative business coach and multi six figure online creative business owner who's made so many mistakes growing my blog and social media to hundreds of thousands of followers, only to look up and have very little to show for it. Once I put my head down and added a few key systems and strategies, everything changed for me. In this podcast, I'll be sharing my proven systems and shortcuts, turning those followers into paying customers. So if you're ready, let's take your online business to the next level and leave all the overwhelm behind. Okay, so let's just start in with happiness. What the heck is that? Is it even real? Is it attainable in today's crazy, chaotic world? I'm telling you, I don't know. Lately, social media has completely given me a run for my money. I don't know about you, but between the Google Gate, like all the changes with the algorithm and the traffic sources and Pinterest and TikTok potentially was being banned, along with Meta and all of their now pay to play situation. I don't know about you, but for me, it's getting all to be a little much. I mean, this week alone has just been there's been so many changes. It's really even hard to keep up with. So, where does that leave us with happiness? I know that this is the way we make a living. We had dinner with my kids this week for my daughter in law's birthday. It was super fun, super nice, but it was brought up at dinner. They said, "We are so grateful that our job does not depend on social media like yours." Wow. Don't they say out of the mouths of babes? I was struck. I was sitting there thinking to myself, you know what? They're right. They are right. But what I also know to be true is that there are good people on the other side of these platforms. That my people are on the other side of these platforms. And gosh darn it, they need me. They need me to show up. They need me to be happy. They need me to be a light in their world sometimes, which is sometimes pretty dark. They need me to offer a warm smile, even if I don't particularly feel like it. So, I don't know if you feel like I do, and as far as the way that that's the way to reach our people is gonna be through our own happiness, but that's kinda what I wanna dial into for today. So, I love the quote by Jim Rohn that says, "Success is something you attract by the person you become." That has been completely stuck in my brain all this week. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And what is not added onto that, though, is the way you become the person is through your habits. So I'm going to kind of give my own twist to this famous quote. And for me, I'm going to say that happiness is tied to the is happiness is the result of the habits you keep. And what I mean by habits are just like the little promises that we promise ourselves. Now, I know you might be thinking, if you're anything like me, that, oh my gosh, Melanie, I am terrible at keeping habits. I'm terrible at keeping promises to myself. I will say, oh yes, I promise I won't eat a bag of M&Ms next time I'm at the gas station and I see them. And then we do, and we're so down on ourselves. But I want you to take a different angle on this. This is just something I've given a lot of thought to this week because honestly, it's just been on my mind. So I want you to think about habits as promises that you make to yourself. But this time, when you make these little promises to yourself, I want you to picture that you're making them to your children. How many of us, raise your hands, I'm not looking, would ever not okay, let me reword that. How many of you would ever promise your child something and then not do it? If it was in any way, shape, or form possible for you to complete the promise, you will complete the promise. Okay, do you remember when your kids are in grade school and you tell them that you are going to make a special trip and bring them their lunch that day because it's a special day for them or something's going on? And you say, "Oh, don't worry, I promise I will bring it." You did any and everything in your power to make sure that you fulfilled that promise because you promised them. And little children remember. They remember. And I want you to know that the little inner child in you, every time you do not keep your promise, remembers. And then it becomes so much easier the next time for you not to believe yourself. That's what happens to the kids. If you fail to deliver on your promises over and over to your children, they eventually just won't believe you. And that is a huge mind shift that we have to make. We have to keep our promises to ourselves in order for us to believe it. And we have to believe it to receive it. Can I get a yes and an amen? Oh my goodness. So that brings me to what can we do about this? All right. We know habits can be sometimes a little bit challenging to keep. So I want you to reverse engineer. Another quote that I really, really glommed onto this week, is that a word, glommed? Is that we grossly overestimate what we can accomplish in a day, and we grossly underestimate what we can accomplish in 5 years. So I want you to repeat that with me. You grossly overestimate what you can accomplish in a day, but you also grossly underestimate what you can accomplish in 5 years. So, you know how you make your little to do list and you keep thinking of things and thinking of things and thinking of things. And before you know it, you don't have room anymore because you've come up with like 50 things that you need to do tomorrow, right? You're not going to finish 50 things. You already know as you're writing all of them down that you're not going to finish 50 things, right? So, what happens? We get to tomorrow, we start on our list, we get a couple things down, and then we start not being able to do the things. We'll skip that one, we'll go to the next one, we'll skip that one. That one takes a little bit too long. Ooh, that one's a little bit too hard. I'm not going to do that one right now because that one takes extra time. And ends up at the end of the day, you've maybe knocked off a couple things off your list. And it's impossible for you to feel good about it because you had this long list and you were so hopeful, right? So you always overestimate what you can accomplish in a day, but we underestimate what we can accomplish in 5 years. So in 5 years, this is where I want to take us. Sit down, think about what you want your life to look like 5 years from now. And the sky is the limit. And I want you to think about it this way. In order for me to be at my very happiest, and you might even have to dig deeper. You may have to think, when was I in my life up to this point the most happy? What point in my life did I overflow with joy? Things came easily. It could be all the way back to when you were 5 years old. I don't know when the last time you were really, truly felt happy was. But I want you to dig down deep, pull out that emotion of happiness, bring it right up to the forefront. Take that feeling, put it to present day, and say, what would make me feel like this again? And write that down. You may have one thing, you may have several things, you may have that you would be helping a certain number of people by having a certain number of followers. You may have that you want to be strong and fit, a certain number of pounds. You may have a certain amount of money that would make you feel comfortable. Maybe it's some sort of relationships with others that would make you super happy. Maybe it's with your kids or your grandkids or your friends. Maybe it's a spiritual place that you need to get back to. What is it for you that would put you back in that status of being happy? And then I want you to reverse engineer your way all the way back to today where you are. What has to happen on the smallest achievable level in order for you to get there? Now, it may not take you 5 years. I hope it doesn't take you 5 years. I hope that you're able to reach this pinnacle as quickly as possible, but what I do know, because I don't know how long it will take you, is that it is going to take creating tiny steps, habits, promises to yourself on a small scale every single day to get there. All right. So let's get some brass tacks to this, some actionable items that you can actually do. I want you to once you have your little place that you want to get and you reverse engineer it back to today, I want you to create a roadmap. So write in a calendar or on a piece of paper the day, the year, the month that you will accomplish this status. And write it down. Write what it's going to look like, write what it's going to feel like, write what it's going to take. I know for myself, I wrote down some things, someone else planning and posting some of my content for me. All I have to do is show up, decorate. Someone else takes all the burden of posting and editing for me, that I am fit and that I weigh a certain amount. I'm not going to tell you that. That I actually am an author of 3 books. So just be very as specific as you can be with these things. And then I want you to figure out a way to keep track. Now here's the secret. Lean in close. Do not make this complicated. Everything else is complicated and chaotic. We need this to be super simple. So I have decided to do mine inside of Google Calendar. You can choose whatever you want. I contemplated downloading a app for this. I've done apps before, habit trackers. It's just one more thing in my opinion, and you have to go open the app and all the things. But the Google Calendar, it's pretty right and front and center for me. And if other personal things are on there like people's birthdays and appointments. It just makes it super streamlined. And I actually will create the habits that need to happen in order for this to take place as an event. And I will give it a time slot and I will have it set reminders to remind me. So just use whatever tool you need. If it's your day timer, if it's your Creatives on Fire planner, I love that too. Hey, hey, Melanie Ferguson here. I have created a content planner for creatives that's unique to content creators. It's a 52-week planning guide and calendar designed to help you manage your time, help you stay organized, consistent, and really just know what to do and when. From planning your content to making sure you're on track every single week, this planner allows you to focus on what matters most for your business. So if you're looking for a way to keep all of your things organized, be able to be ahead of the game and know exactly what to do and when, check it out at creativesonfirepodcast.com/planner. That's creativesonfirepodcast.com/planner. But sometimes we need something that will actually prompt us and remind us as we go throughout our day to do the things that we promised ourselves to do. Now, I hope that this is helpful. I want you to know that I don't know what happened to me, but somewhere along the lines, I have fallen short of my original plan. And I stopped reading. I stopped listening to podcasts. I honestly, I've stopped walking. I stopped reading the Bible. I've stopped drinking my water. Like all the things that I usually used to do back in the day. And then I wondered, like, why am I having so much struggle? Like, why is this so hard? And I have started back with all of those things. And you just take one step at a time. I purchased 4 books because I'm planning to read 4 books right away. I've subscribed to a few more podcasts that I know will fill me up. It's the good stuff. I've turned back on worship music while I'm working. I don't know why that stopped happening. It just stopped happening. Again, happiness is tied to the habits we keep. All right. And these are just all habits. Now, my habit had become getting on social media platforms to post and then scrolling through them incessantly for hours, not accomplishing anything, feeling down, disappointed in myself because I didn't get anything done that day that, was on my to-do list, and just feeling like, you know, the social media had me, it had me captive. I was at its mercy because this is how I work. This is like the kids say, they felt so sorry for me because I have to make my living on this platform. Well, I'm here to tell you that your job is to create boundaries for yourself and get yourself to the other side, to those people who need you. Not don't give up. That's okay. So, one quick little story, and we'll end it with this. I was sitting at my desk this week, and I knew that I knew that I knew that I needed to go live and do a live video. I did not want to go live. I did not feel like going live, but I knew I needed to go live. But there was this inner voice inside of me, which happens all the time, that says, "You don't really have to go live. You don't even like to go live. You're gonna make a mistake. You're gonna look stupid. You know, you don't wanna go put on your makeup. You don't wanna fix your hair. Why would you do that? You don't have to. You could totally just sit here. Those people are gonna be fine with or without you. You do not have to show up. You're doing fine." You know what I had to do? I had to physically take my hand, do not laugh. I had to physically take my hand and flick the side of my shoulder. I just flicked my shoulder like I was brushing off dandruff from a dandruff commercial. Am I saying my age? The Selsun Blue commercial where you just take the dandruff off your black sweater. Anyway, I just flicked my shoulder to physically get the voice off of me, okay? Because if I did not, I was gonna let that voice control me and tell me exactly what to do. And I'm just going to share with you that I think we spend a lot of time listening to our thoughts instead of telling ourselves what to think. So we spend a lot of time listening to our own thoughts instead of telling ourselves what to think. So I brushed off my shoulder. I verbally out loud said, "I am getting up right now and I am going to go live." So I walked out to my area that I go live in and I immediately turned on the camera. And that took care of that. Okay. But it's not easy, is what I'm trying to say. And sometimes it takes breaking through the noise, pushing through the negativity to get to those habits/promises that we've made to ourselves. And that is what I want for you, my friend. I want you to have a lifetime of happiness that's created by the habits that you keep on a daily basis. And I want you to be able to keep those promises to yourself. And don't feel bad if you miss a day. You literally get back on the horse, get back on the bike, whatever it is, and keep going. The only way that you will be unhappy is if you quit. All right, my friend, I hope that you found some value in today's messaging, and I will talk to you soon. Stay creative. Love you. Bye. Thank you so much, my friend, for tuning in each and every week. If you learned something new or were inspired from today's episode, I would be incredibly grateful if you would take a minute and just leave a review. Bonus points if you share this episode by screenshotting it and tagging me on social at Creatives on Fire Podcast. I'll share you in my stories when you do. In the meantime, keep rocking your business, and don't forget, no one else will ever be you, and that is your creative superpower.